Okay, we're gonna make a gumbo today. Couple of things we're gonna do. We're gonna start out by making a chicken stock. We got our chicken and our pieces from our vegetables in here. So we cut off the celery stalks and the parsley, the ends of the onions, the bell peppers, and we're gonna make a chicken and a vegetable stock. We're gonna put some salt and pepper in here with the chicken, and we're gonna let this boil for about an hour, okay? And then here's our prep stuff. If you look at it, here's parsley, green onions, some onions, bell peppers, celery. We got some andouille sausage and some smoked sausage that we're gonna cut up. And we're gonna put this all together in a little bit and show y'all how it's done. All right, so we're ready. Got the stock going. Here you can see all the good stuff in the chicken stock, the ends of the onions, the bell pepper, all the trash that you took off your vegetables. And then we got chicken pieces in there. And we're gonna let that boil, like we said, for about an hour. And then while we also put some salt and pepper in our stock, about maybe 2 tablespoons of salt and about a tablespoon of pepper. And we're just gonna let that boil at a good roll for about an hour. And then this is the stuff we prepped up. You can see here's your trilogy, your onions, celery, bell pepper. We got parsley here. That's optional. I like it because it makes the pot look good. It's green. And then some green onions. And we got 2 different types of sausage. Got some good smoked sausage. It's going to add a lot of flavor to that. We're going to let this go for about an hour, and we'll pull it out and take the chicken pieces out of it and debone it next. And then we're going to start making our roux. We win.
Go.
Okay, so now we're gonna take this chicken stock, move it over here, and we're gonna start to take the chicken pieces out of it. There's a big old piece of chicken. So what you wanna do is let this stuff cool off, and we're gonna start deboning it in a little while. If you wanna skip this and not have to make chicken stock, not have to debone chicken, an easy way to do it is just get a rotisserie chicken and debone that, and that makes it really easy.
That's good.
All right, so now we're gonna make the roux. This is the most important part. A lot of people make a slow roux. A lot of people do it in the ovens. You can buy store-bought roux, but this is the best way to do it. I do it quick and I do it fast. I use lard, Crisco, whatever you got. You can use vegetable oil, but I like good old-fashioned lard. So we're gonna get that rolling, let that start to melt. And how much? I don't know. You put it till you feel like it. I always have a little olive oil or vegetable oil around if I want to put a little more oil in there to make my roux a little thinner. That's what I'll do. And here's the second thing, just regular all-purpose flour. So we're gonna take a couple of scoops of this stuff, and this is the best thing to use. You got your little flat spatula, wooden spatula, and that's how you're going to scrape the bottom. So we're going to put a couple of scoops of that. I'm going to start out with 3, maybe 3.5. All right. And that's going to be our roux. Okay, I always throw in a little bit of butter because I think it makes it brown a little bit better. And so what you're gonna do with your roux is just let all that fat melt and let the flour mix in with it. And you're gonna continuously stir it. Don't answer the phone, don't answer the front door. Just stir, stir, stir. All right, so you can see now our roux starting to thicken up a little bit. Some people say you want it about peanut butter colored. I think it's a little darker than that. I like color of a copper penny, but I make my roux a little bit darker than that. I like it a dirty penny. So this has still got a couple of more minutes left. So we're gonna keep stirring. You see, one of the things you're looking for is it to start caking up a little bit, and it makes that floury, pasty stuff that's going on, and you get that good nutty flavor when you start to get that brown color. This is still got about a couple of more minutes. If you stop stirring, this will burn really quickly. So what I'm gonna do is, now that we got it almost where we want it, I'm gonna turn the fire down just a little bit. And to me, this is a little bit thick. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of olive oil or oil or whatever you got handy. I'm using olive oil because it was right there. And just put a little bit of oil in it. All right, and so right now, this is about maybe a little bit lighter than I like it. We're gonna let it cook just a little more. There's that. All right, so that's probably about the color of a dark penny, if you can imagine that. Now we're gonna take our vegetables. We're gonna put it in the pot. Watch the steam, not burn your hand. We're gonna get that going and give it a nice little stir. Once you get the vegetables in there, the water from the vegetables keeps your root from browning, so it won't burn at this point. So let's get all this good stuff in there. A little bit more. Get that last little bit of good stuff in there. Good. And then we're gonna stir that up. You don't have to stir this as consistently, because like I said, it's not gonna burn at this point, but you don't wanna let it go by itself. So we're gonna let those vegetables sit there and cook 3 to 5 minutes maybe, and get a little, let your onions clear up and get to where they're almost translucent, and then we're going to add our vegetable stock, our chicken stock, back in. All right, so you got your roux right there, vegetables going in it. It's pretty close. So I'm going to dump our sausage in there. So here's our 2 different kinds of sausages. We're going to put that in there and let that render down just a little bit. You don't want to, oh, there we go, drop it. Dog will get that. You don't want to cook this down too much because you'll burn the sausage and that stuff, but just a little bit. So we're going to stir that up with the roux and just let that sausage render down a little bit. Okay, you can stop. Okay, now we're going to dump our chicken stock into our pot. We're going to use this strainer to strain out the vegetables that were in there. This is cooled down pretty much, so it's not too hot. All right. That steam was getting me a little bit, but that's good. All right. That's good stuff there. Sorry. So now we got our hot roux and our chicken stock. We'll probably add, stir that up a little bit. We're gonna add water probably about 3/4 of the way up to get it juicy, about up to here on the water. And then we're gonna let it go for a while. So just to show you what I did, I added some water to our chicken stock and our roux, brought it up to about 3/4, maybe 2/3, 3/4 of the way. It's got the Trinity in it and the sausage, chicken stock. We're gonna let that start to boil up and let it go for a while. We're gonna debone our chicken, which is cooling off right here. And then we'll show you what that looks like. So one of the things you gotta do is when this gumbo is going, you're gonna see the grease starts to separate. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit so it's not boiling as much, and then you're going to scrape some of this grease with a ladle and just get some of that grease off, and then more will separate as we continue to cook it down. So you don't have to get it all now, but if you leave this stuff in here, that's Heartburn City. So we're gonna take some of this grease off. I'm probably gonna add a little more water to the pot to bring it up a little bit, because some of this water is boiled off. So not much, about 4 or 5 cups. And then we're gonna let it keep boiling. It's been going on probably about an hour now. We're gonna let it go probably another further hour. All right, so our gumbo's been going for probably another 30 minutes. We skimmed some more grease off of it, added a little bit of water, and you see it's got sausage in it. And so here is our deboned chicken. So we took all that chicken, processed it, boiled it, deboned all the chicken. So we're gonna put our chicken in now. We usually put the chicken in later in the process to let that gumbo cook down a little bit so the chicken doesn't all break up. You want your chicken to stay together a little bit. So we're gonna put that chicken in there. Oops, I was trying to jump out. Got a couple more pieces. All right. So there's our chicken. We're gonna add a little slap your mama. That's an endorsement. Let's see, let's get some in there. All right, a couple of tablespoons, maybe of that. Stir it up. Crank our fire. So now you see that's looking like gumbo. And we're gonna let that go at least another half an hour to an hour. All right, so we're gonna skim a little bit more grease off the top. We probably got 2 cups like this total of grease off. So you gotta take a little bit off of there. Okay, so there's our gumbo now. If you look, got our chicken. It's probably been going maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more with the chicken in it. I'm gonna throw in about half of the green onions now. Oh, you're gonna make them dizzy. Half of the green onions now, and I'm gonna put some filet in there. Probably 2 capfuls, something like that. We're gonna give that a stir, and we're gonna let that simmer maybe another half hour. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right, so you can see gumbo's about done. It's simmering, got a slow boil. We're gonna put the rest of the green onions and the parsley in. And then we're gonna add a little bit more. There's our parsley. A little bit more of the filet in. Here's the filet. So, let's say maybe another capful or so. And that's gonna help thicken it up real good. So we're gonna give that a good little stir. And let it simmer slow for another 15-20 minutes. All right, so I think we're all done. We're gonna put together a bowl. Get you a nice little spoonful of rice. Got your gumbo all done there. Make sure we get enough juice in there. So that's what you want it to look like. About like that. We're gonna put a little, I like my potato salad on the side, so we're gonna put a little potato salad on the side. Get a gumbo spoon. And there you go.